Good evening, folks. This is Colin from Kincaid Outdoors. I know there's not a lot of people are in here right as of yet. That makes sense. It is Tuesday. I hope everybody is well who do see this. My wife Jenny and my son Ian both say hi, as well as our cats Macus, for those people who know him, and Little Miss, who's formerly known as Ninja. We decided to change her name because it suits her better. But other than that, I hope everybody is keeping warm. I know there's a lot of people out there who have more difficult reasons why they can't keep warm at the moment. I'm trying to keep this as a series because right now I don't have much going on at the moment. So I haven't been out, hadn't been thrift shopping. We did find a place that does offer Amazon returns for like $40 a box that I may be turning into a series down the road, but not at this time. But hopefully somebody will be popping in soon. Let's find out. Hopefully. As you can see in the background, I do have my arrows and bows up on my new bow rack. I will be putting a sword right there and another one right there, unless I want to put one of them way up there on top. I'm not sure. I'm thinking about what the long one here. That's my Strider sword on this wall right here, and my French one right there, which I can show you if anybody asks. But as for the topic of keeping warm, one of the things that most people consider is doing hand warmers, whether they're the hot hands style, hot coffee, chili. Everybody has access to these. The other hand warmers that people do have are the chemical ones that use Zippo lighter fluid and things like that, as well as the electric ones, which are new. There's several models that were at Walmart that Ian and I found that we're going to be probably showing off in the near future, because one of the ones we found is both a hand warmer and a phone charger. But there's also the generic ones from Ozark Trails that are just plain hand warmers. Another options are the emergency space blankets, both the flimsy one-time use ones or the more durable folding ones. There's also the emergency sleeping bags, tents, and the like, as well as space heaters, both the propane kind. There's the kerosene heaters, like the ones from Bevor, those big diesel ones even. I'm not sure. There's also, unless you have a fireplace, you can go use one of those. If you have access to a wood-burning stove, which is a very good thing. My dad made some when I was a kid out of oil drums. They were quite interesting to see and very not fun as a kid to split wood and use, because my dad used them in his shop. The fun part was watching my dad burn off all the oil that was inside them. And it was a stinky, dirty mess because I had to help him. But he kept his shop pretty warm with one of those, because the shop was probably as big as our living room is. And I can't tell you exactly how big our living room is. I think our living room is just a little bit bigger than that, because it used to be an old barbershop kind of thing back in the day. But hopefully somebody will be popping in soon. I don't know where Robbie Hayes is or anybody else who usually pops in, but hey, let's find out. Make sure I'm on the right day of the week. I am, and I'm on time. So let's see what happens. Well, sorry, that was just my advertisement, so I got to at least get one out of the way. Not sure where everybody is or if anybody's going to be showing up. I haven't heard anything. So we're going to have to wait and see.
Oh, it is the week before Christmas.
It is the week before Christmas. I will be going live on Tuesday and Thursday still next week because I'm not going to be um, on those weeks. I am going to be because I'm not going to be doing any. I'm not going to know Christmas stuff on those days, I should say. And the Christmas Eve, I may be on as well because I don't have anything else going on that day either, other than unless my wife comes up with an idea. Love,
What?
any ideas, suggestions?
Oh, what?
Well, New Year's Eve.
Yeah,
That's a Tuesday.
going to bed early.
Going to bed. She's going to sleep through the new year. I'm going to try to be up till midnight, so I might be trying to run long that day. So we're going to have to wait and see. Still no one here but me. Nobody here but us chickens, as the saying goes. My topic may be boring to some, repetitive for others. But the thing is, you don't know what you're end up going to be in, whether you're going to be in your car, you're going to be in your home, or at your workplace, even because the power could go out for any number of reasons, due to regular power outage, due to lines coming down. Your furnace breaks down. You're poor and you forget to pay your bill. Natural disaster, that kind of thing. Who knows? But I have dealt with power outages before in the winter storms, or as well as I have been in the past. I have been homeless in the middle of winter, and it is not something I wish on anybody. Having to sleep in my vehicle every day during winter is something that should never be experienced. I know things happen for a reason, but who knows? Right. So right now, I'm just, like I said, just waiting for someone to pop in. It's been 8 minutes. This is one of the longest times I've ever had anybody not show up. I hope I sent enough people invitations and stuff out. So I don't know.
Did you send an invitation?
I sent a lot of invitations out. I sent it on Instagram. I sent it on Twitter. I sent it on Facebook. It's like I normally do. It just usually somebody's popped in by now. It's been 8 minutes. Rob on the Road usually pops in.
Maybe they're all busy.
Yeah, I know that CR said he's going to be a half an hour late. He's on somebody else's stream at the moment. So that's perfectly normal. I mean, they have lives. I understand that. And I know that this time of year is very important to a lot of people who stay. They have their families to deal with and their own traditions. Not everybody is Christian, though. We support that 100%. If you are, we support that too. We're very open-minded here, aren't we, love? So whether you're Jewish, you're going through Kwanzaa, you're Christian, you're pagan, it doesn't matter. But if you're celebrating Yule, if you're celebrating, what else are there going on here? But I think I mentioned the four that I know.
Hanukkah.
I mentioned Hanukkah. Oh, there's Ajax. How you doing, Tyler? Thank you for coming. You're the first one in. I was just trying to figure out if anybody's going to pop in or not. And if you want to come, let me do something real quick here. If you're interested, that is. Yeah, there you go. If you want to come on up, you're more than welcome. I'm just talking about the things you can do to either prepare or deal with a sudden loss of heat. Like we, a few weeks ago, were without heat. And while we still had power, we still had gas, our furnace went out. Well, of a sort. The heat sensor on the pilot light sensor went out. And it says it was like a rare thing that it happens, but it did happen. And so we were using both. I was using the stove the oven to help heat the house, which worked. And we also had a space heater we had to buy because our first one died. So we've been through different things. I've been homeless before where I had to sleep in my vehicle and try to keep warm that way. Um, Running your car's heater while you're homeless is not the best way of keeping warm, especially when you're on limited fuel. So I don't know if you've been through that, Tyler, or not. Please let me know. I really appreciate it. And I thank you for being in here. And thank you for being number one. So if you have any stories, suggestions, ideas about good ways to keep warm. I mean, I've dealt with a house that was very poorly insulated in the wintertime, and we had to use a fireplace to keep warm when Ian was just a baby. It was not easy, but I got through it. We all got through it. We ended up sleeping in one room where the fireplace was, closing off all the windows, all the other rooms, and didn't leave it unless we had to go use the restroom. So we were lucky the pipes didn't freeze. But we got through it. It was one of those places that had LP gas instead of regular city gas because we were just literally a quarter mile out of town. I don't know if you've dealt with anything like that happening, Lev, since you guys lived way out of town.
Yeah, we had LP gas. We also had.
Oh, it's right. That's what caused your issue in the first place, the first house. But okay, you've had to deal with chopping wood and stuff, probably.
Yeah, we lost water.
Oh, okay. That's cool though. No, I didn't. My dad had one for his little shop. He did all his tinkering and everything, but it was one of those barrel ones. But the thing is, it wasn't the original stove for his shop because it was one of the original barber shops for Eddyville. It actually had a chimney, and when we bought the place, the wood burning barrel, it was one of those side turn barrels and stuff. So we had to chop wood for that. It was way too big for that little space because it was smaller than our living room, but it certainly did the job. So what do you do, Ajax? What do you do? Just asking. Because we got plenty of winter sleeping bags here. If we needed to, Jenny and I could zip a couple together. We'd keep warm. We'd probably have our cats snuggled in with us too.
Oh yeah, they've been snuggling.
They snuggle with me. They snuggle with her. If I could prop my knee up proper in the bedroom, I would. But right now, I've been sleeping right here. We have now. If you still have power, which is sometimes it happens. Say your furnace goes out, but you still have power. You still have your stove, your gas stove, or whatever. You can alternately do heat that way. Not the most efficient way of doing it, but it will work. I'm not sure exactly. Oh, give me a second here. I've got to do something. I'm trying to find everybody here. I'm trying to find out why I haven't heard from anybody. Yep. I don't know. Please like, share, and subscribe, folks. I really appreciate it if you would. Still trying to get this thing shared out some more. I don't know where everybody is. It just is. Sorry for talking around with my mouth full open. I'm still trying to figure out where everybody's at because usually I have like 4 or 5 people in here by now. Um, as you can probably, I'm not sure if you can hear, but our furnace is working. One of the problems we had was with the pilot sensor. It would light up, the fan would blow, but it was so sooty or corroded, I guess. Not bad corrosion, just covering type deal that kept us from getting heat. Well, one of the things good about our house is that it's really fairly insulated, which is nice, right, love? So it doesn't take much to heat it up. So I'm not. Can you hear me, Ajax, at all? If you can't, please put a one in the chat, because I mean, otherwise I've been yakking for the last 16 minutes, and I'm not sure if it's going out to anyone. It's showing that I have 4 people watching. I just don't know who it is. Okay, I don't know if I can do something stupid or not. Let's see here. Let me try something. Okay, here's some things that I found so far. Oh, it's a link. Okay, I don't want to do that. Let me try something here. I don't know if this is going to work or not. Here we go. Thank you. I wasn't sure if I was just running my mouth or whatever, but here's some of the things that this is from somewhere here in Iowa, like keeping your attic heated, sealing off drafts from windows, putting what I call door snakes, which is basically a giant snake-like bean bag you put down the bottom of your doors, putting plastic over your windows. Oh, don't forget to change your filter in your furnace if you haven't done so. You got to do it regularly, like once a month. I found that out recently. You can use alternative heat sources such as propane heaters, kerosene heaters, diesel heaters. Those are new to me, as long as they're vented properly. We have actually heated this room here using our oil lamps because they put out a decent amount of heat. I mean, besides the light they provide as well. But when our power went out, when we were over, was it in Milo? When the power went out, we had to use oil lamps, and it put out so much heat. Jenny said she was sweating. So yeah, so look into that. You might, you never know about that. Some other stuff that they suggest is maintain your proper heating. If you have a programmable thermostat, try to use that if your furnace is working. So we have a programmable one, which is over by Jenny. She gets really warm easily at this time, but she may be warm over there. I'm a little chilly over here because I'm near the windows, and we have a draft coming for one of our windows, and I need to address that. I haven't figured out how to do that as of yet. I may have an idea, but I'm going to have to run that by Jenny once we get done talking on here tonight. There's that programmable thermostat like we got. Takes two AA batteries, and you set it for when you want it to sleep. When you're sleeping, obviously, the temperature could be a little lower, and have it warm up once you have your normal waking time, which is usually waking up at 4:00 for me in the morning when I go to get ready for work, to be at work at 6, which is right now it's not happening because of my injury, but that'll change once I get myself back to a schedule. Other things that they suggest: weatherizing your home besides seal all the cracks around your windows and doors with weather stripping, which I have done. Our front door. I recently, when we were rearranging, found out that our front window it's got a little bit of a leak. Now, you know that weather stripping that I found, hon?
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to see if we can seal that window off with that.
Okay.
So I don't know where it got put.
I have no idea.
We'll find it. I know it's up here still. I just got to figure out where it went to. Another thing you can do: the attics and crawl spaces are all well insulated here, so we're good on that. We do have heavy windows, curtains on the front window, and I have a wool blanket over this one here, which both acts like a blackout curtain as well as insulates from any breeze or windows, air coming through the windows, even when they're closed. They said dress warmly. I sometimes, when you guys can see, I actually have a blanket that I put over my knees because I'm generally in my sleep shorts. I'm just in regular shorts right now. And I do have my stocking cap on because I do get a little cold. Or if you need to put a pair of socks on and that kind of thing, wearing decent jammies. Like Jenny is a major jammy wearer. She loves wearing her jammies. I don't wear long pajama bottoms like she does because I don't like things going down my legs if I don't have to. But there are options. Do you have anything to add to what I've been saying there, Ajax? I mean, because I am doing my best here to try to figure things out. And I know there's different types of furnaces, whether they're gas, whether they're both natural gas, or what's the other kind of gas people use for heaters? Unless they have kerosene heaters or something like that.
Okay.
Propane heaters, such as that Heat Buddy. Wood is fairly common. Wood pellet ones are popping up fairly regularly now here in Iowa, which run off both wood pellets and I believe corn cobs are popular here in Iowa. I don't know if you have those up in Michigan, but yeah, since we have a lot of corn being grown, I think people have been running their wood pellet stoves and stuff off of corn cobs. And those were the ones that you have to go outside to do it. And I guess they run radiated heat, I think.
I don't know.
I need to do some more research on that one. I used to live in a house that had radiators. Now, that one was a really unique one. Just basically, it had big old-fashioned accordion-style heaters in a wood structure on the side of the walls, and that's how you got your heat. Now, eventually, I would love to build a house with geothermal flooring heating, so it maintains a minimal 55 degrees at all times under your flooring, which would be nice, save some energy bills. But Right now, that's not an option. I'm trying to keep this going because I need someone to bounce my ideas off of. Jenny's helping, but she's also doing her own thing over there. Do you have any suggestions, Tyler? Because I need the help. I need some help here. Because wearing long johns is a good thing. Base layers. If you're getting stuck in your vehicle, make sure you carry base layers, a second pair of shoes or boots, in this case, gloves, such as, let me see if I have them in here or my other one. I'll just use, I'm pulling out only one of these, but wool gloves. These are Thinsilates, as you can see. But I like these for a reason. I got dexterity, obviously, but I can fold them over and keep my hands warm that way, like mittens. So these are really cool. Ian has got some military grade ones, but that's his preference. He gave me one of his extra military hats. That's which is what this is. I normally wear my Carhartt, but that's somewhere. I just can't remember where I put it. I had everything right here on my chair.
I handed it to you yesterday.
I know. I put it somewhere and I can't find it. But this is available. This works. So this is a military issue winter hat, which I have no issue wearing because as I am a veteran. When I was in the service, we had military grade sleeping bags. We had wool blankets. We had hats, obviously, gloves, not this style, but similar. We had, the base layer gloves, and then the over glove, but like these are. And we had our base layer thermals, our winter BDUs. I don't know what they call them now, ACUs or whatever. And our cold winter overcoats. Our boots were, we had like wool socks, and I had Gore-Tex lined winter boots, which, by the way, were the most comfortable boots I've ever owned. And I wish I could find them again in my size. Not an option. Can't afford them. I know they're out there. I just can't afford them. By the way, Tyler, I saw your video the other day. I'm sorry I fell asleep during your live, so bear with me. I'm sorry about that. Let me take this off because it's kind of hard to type using my thumbs. Wow, it's almost 7:30 and no one's here yet besides you, Tyler. So really weird. I'm trying to find something. So if I'm quiet, I apologize. I'm trying to find boots in my size, which not easy to do because of my width. Even my wife says that my shoe size is not normal. So my foot is 6 inches wide. That's what it says. That's what
3 widths wider than a medium shoe.
Huh?
3 widths wider than a medium shoe.
Then why does it say 6E instead of just 2E?
Because in some cases, a 6E is actually a 4E.
Well, it's saying here a shoe labeled as 6E is extra wide and designed to accommodate a foot that it measures 6 inches in width. I can actually see that.
You got big ass feet.
I got wide feet, not big, just wide. Or as you like to call them?
Hobbit feet.
Now, having appropriate shoe size and not having too tight a boot in the winter is also a must. If your feet are too tight, that means the blood flow can't flow through your feet, which means your feet are going to get colder faster, which could lead to frostbite or worse. Besides frostbite's the worst of it. You could go with chilblains. You can get what's that thing with your feet get too wet for too long? Trench foot. Hey, CR, how you doing, brother? Right now it's just you and Tyler. Yep, they can. You got a lot of snow up in your area and it gets cold. What kind of things do you use to keep your place warm? I don't know. I mean, do you use wood? Do you have propane? Do you have natural gas? Do you have a furnace? Who knows? Geothermal, that kind of thing. -4F. Here it is 31 degrees. Natural gas? Okay. We have a gas heat as well. But our furnace a couple weeks ago went out due to a error in one of the pilot sensors. It took all about 5 minutes to fix. It didn't. The person who repaired it is actually the guy who installed it initially into this house, back when someone else was living here, which is an Amana furnace. It took him 5 minutes to fix it. Then we had heat, which is thankful for. But I've lived in a house that required wood heat. So is Jenny. It's not our preferred method, but it is natural. And it's, at least the amount of work you put in it is how much heat you get out of it, because it heats you twice. Whatever you do, do not use alcohol to keep yourself warm, because that's not a optimal way of keeping yourself warm. Now, if you have a partner and you can snuggle, that's a good way to keep warm. It's also a good way to expand your family if you're not careful. Hot water bottles is a good way to do it if you're going to do that way. Just take your normal plastic water bottles, not the metal ones, because the metal ones can burn you unless you have them covered. I've never had to use hot water bottles. Have you, Love? In the old days, they used bed warmers, which they put hot coals in, and you just rubbed it over your sheets, as well as they had the really, really old days. They actually had a servant lay in the bed and warm it up for you. It's where the word bed warmer comes from. So that's way back in the day, medieval day, no less. But right nowadays, I mean, you can have your pellet stoves or corn cob stoves here in Iowa anyway, because shucked corn cobs are very flammable. They burn just... Okay, thank you. Now, if anybody has watched the Outdoor Boys, they do a lot of cold weather camping with and without tents. Luke has done the camping in a big pit in the ground with he just builds a big fire, moves the fire over after a long time, and starts another one on the other side and puts his bed on where the fire was, or they bury the coals and sleep on top of that and all this other stuff. I have no idea about any of that, but we have used propane stoves. We've used propane, our actual stove, a gas stove. I actually had to use an electric stove once when I was the little plug-in ones for your wall, like a little hot plate to help warm a place I lived in. That was the place I lived in when I lived over in Grinnell. You know, the one I told you was Baton Rouge.
The one I made you move out of?
Yeah. That place did not have the best heat, as you already know.
Yeah, I knew that.
There was a hole like this big.
Yeah, frequent bat visitors.
And rain that goes straight through into buckets.
Yep.
And they wouldn't fix it. But it was the only place I could afford at the time. We mentioned coffee. Cocoa works. Hot cider works as well, the non-alcoholic kind, because you don't want to mix cold weather and alcohol. It's not a good idea. You can do chili or any kind of warm soup that is less liquid, more solid, that might help maintain your core body temperature. My dad believed in chili, worked amazing, which, by the way, Joni says she's going to be doing chili just like your mom.
Oh, okay.
So that's and ham sandwiches.
Yeah. It's a Christmas theme.
That is a Christmas theme. And she said you can bring any desserts that you want. So, and our whatever we're going to drink as well. So if we get a 24-pack of Pepsi or something like that, or 2 small 12 packs, that way we don't lose any sodas like we did last time. Hey, Lost, how you doing, brother? My dad had one of those, Lost. Yeah, my dad actually, the place that my dad had one of those set up was an old building that used to be my hometown's barber shop back in the 1800s. Between 1800s, early 1900s. And when we got the place, the original potbelly stove was not even there anymore, but he installed a wood, one of those oil drum stoves. And we always thought it was too much wood for that particular space, but it did keep the place quite warm. I mean, you could feel the heat radiating off the building as you walk before you even open the door, because the door was warm. And the snow melted off the roof and all that stuff. The place wasn't really big either. It was like about this, probably about 10 feet by 20 feet. They consider like a tiny home nowadays, or, you know, when it's one of those regular sheds you can see at any place, you know, they have little sheds for sale. But this one was an actual building that was the original barber shop. Merry Christmas to you as well. And happy holidays for anybody else as well. I have been in homes that had originally had LP gas, but the tank went out. I mean, because the house was very ill insulated. And I put a full tank of fuel in it, and I was pretty much empty within a month and a half, because we were trying to heat the entire house. We couldn't just shut off certain rooms. But we did have a wood-burning fireplace. And actually, this is the second home I've had a wood-burning fireplace in. My grandma's house I lived in had one of those, but it wasn't in the main house. It was in the back porch. But chopping firewood was a regular deal about keeping warm. And if you do it right, and you seal off the house, you can keep one room really, really warm. Um, right now, I'm a little chilly. Jenny's probably warm. I got a blanket over my legs. Um, or you can use, like I was suggesting, these. I actually prefer the uh, my Johnny hand warmer, which is basically it just takes zipper lighter fluid, and those keep me warm. You can get the chemical ones, the stick ones, which you light those, or you can get them now. They have those electric hand warmers. The hot hands come in various sizes, including ones you can stick. They have this adhesive part on there. You can stick it to your clothing, and it'll help keep your core warm. Well, good on you. Thank you for doing that there, brothers. I really appreciate it. Now, nowadays they have these heated vests which take a battery pack you can use to keep yourself warm. Battery powered gloves, battery powered socks, even hats that are that way. A lot of things have been upgraded and everything, but I mean, while those can be expensive, they are practical in certain circumstances. Now, would I want to use those on a regular basis? Probably not. I'd rather stick to, my stocking caps, my wool gloves, which I think I just dropped my wool glove when I took it off to type, which is probably down here on the floor now. I had it out of my glove, out of my jacket. Now I can't find it. I'll grab the other one. Like I was talking about earlier, I wear Thinsulate gloves like this. As you can tell, my hands are dirty. Um, but yes, I use this for dexterity, but this to keep my hands warm. These are Thinsulates. Sorry about it's upside down, but I can't flip my hand over. But I like this because I can have manual dexterity to do stuff, whether I want to use my phone or pick things up. Hey, Mike, how you doing? Now, what do you guys do to prepare for winter? I mean, I know winter is not officially here yet. We still officially got 4 more days. Unofficially, if it's already snowed in your area, how do you prepare your car? How do you prepare your house? How do you prepare yourself? Those of us who are a little bit more heavy set, like myself, sorry, I got to correct myself. I was not as heavy as I used to be. But wearing windbreaker style clothing in layers, zippable, removable layers. You don't want to be completely covered up like in a hoodie, in a multiple layers of shirts and stuff that you cannot take off easily, and you don't want to try overheat. I know it sounds weird, but you can overheat in the winter because you have too many layers, and the layers do not breathe. You do not want to sweat. If you sweat, you die. Do not wear cotton in the wintertime. That includes jeans. They suggest not to. I don't have any wool that would go in something like that. I do have, only reason I don't have any because I needed to get a new set of thermals. I generally have one thermal shirt that I like to wear on a regular basis, but I end up wearing them out. If you don't believe me, ask her. I wear thermals a lot. Shirts wise, not the pants, just the shirts.
Well, the environment you work in doesn't have heat, so you have to wear them.
Pretty much, yeah. Now, wool gloves, whether they're Thinsulate or not, you'll put it that way, see it better. This is a good brand. Like I said, I just prefer this kind of glove over other kinds. You can wear a balaclava, which goes over your face, which I don't have one at the moment. You can wear a stocking cap, which is, by the way, this is military issue. And if anybody says it's not, I'll show you what it is. 100% wool. There's the NSN number. I wear it because I've had frostbite on the tips of my ears before. It is not something I recommend to anybody because they hurt and they bleed. If you don't have a balaclava, you can use simple bandana in this position to keep your face warm. Well, you want it snug, but you don't want it tight, just snug where it doesn't slide off. That way you can protect your face and nose from getting frostbite. If you do happen to get frostbite, do not use hot water. You need to warm your feet up naturally. The one way to figure out if you're getting the possibility of either chilblains or worse, that's just actual frostbite. If you're wearing boots and all of a sudden they go from cold to hurting to not feeling anything at all. Now, be careful with that because you can damage your feet, lose your toes. Talk to Tyler Wood. You will understand. He lost feeling in one of his toes because of his feet got too cold during his winter challenge a few years ago. But you got to prepare and think ahead. Now, if you do get into that position where your feet start to get cold, take your boots off. Do not sleep in your clothes. If you're in a winter camping situation or winter survival situation, when you get into your sleeping bag, make sure it's a proper kind of sleeping bag, not just any sleeping bag. Make sure it's rated for the weather that you're in, if you can, or colder. I have a -30 sleep system, military sleep system, which I put together, and that I put it together for less than $50. Welcome back there, CR. Hey, Blake. I didn't see Blake in here. Where's Blake? I see Lost. I see Vike. I don't see Blake. By the way, if you do smoke, it's not a good idea in the wintertime because it cuts off your capillaries and causes you to be colder. I know it sounds like a buzzkill, especially during the holidays. Do not drink alcohol, especially because it makes you feel warm when you're not. It's not a good way to keep warm. It's Vike, not Blake. Now, since you're further north than me, CR, what do you use to keep yourself warm when you're not in your house? And also, is your house properly insulated? I know people say, "Oh, it's something you don't think about." When you're in a cold situation, you have to make sure your windows are sealed off, and whether by plastic or by winter seal or whatever. We actually have something over here that we use. I call it the door snake because it's a big, long beanbag thing to help keep drafts out. We actually have two, one for the front, one for the back. Heavy curtains, whether they're blackout curtains or in my case on this wall over here, because we haven't changed the window covering yet, is a wool blanket to help maintain heat in. You don't want to try to reduce the amount of drafts through your house. Also, another thing you should think of, if you haven't thought about it, is if you have a cold air return in your house and your house is always cold, your heater's down below and your cold air is real tall, do not cover your cold air returns. That would restrict the airflow of your furnace and make your furnace work twice as hard, but not produce the heat you need. And also, if you get a chance once a year, clean out your vents. If anybody has any suggestions, wants to jump in, please feel free. If you want to come up and say, put your 2 cents in, the link is at the top of the chat. I'm going off every freaking idea that I've ever learned in the military. Personally, a few ideas from Jenny because she's smarter than me and she's actually dealt with some places, things that I didn't growing up. She actually grew up with wood fire heat in the place that she lived before. She also dealt with the consequences of wood-fired heat in a house. Isn't that right, my love?
Yep.
When she was I'm not sure how old were you when that happened.
November 11th, 2003.
Okay, about 21 years ago, she lost her house when she was living at home because the her stove was not, I guess, the wood stove was not properly cleaned.
The fire department says that the wood, the pipe running through the attic split open.
Okay.
Mom and Dad say it was electrical.
So the fire department says one thing, her parents say another.
I was not living at home.
Okay,
I lived in town.
Okay, she had moved out by then, but she grew up with wood-fired heat.
My neighbor that I was living next to had a police scan, and he heard that my mom and dad's house was on fire.
Jenny heard it from a neighbor that her mom and dad's house was on fire. So they lost their first house due to fire because of a wood-burning stove. It was what the fire department said, but they're conflicting stories. But one way or the other, keep your flues and your chimneys clean. Clean them on the regular. You can use hot water bottles. You can use hot hands like these. There's different types, sizes, and kinds of those. They can get a little pricey though. I have those, like these. Those are mine. Now they are new, some new stuff out there that will use battery powered heated jackets that are now the thing. I have never encountered anything like that. I've seen them. I almost bought one once. I was kind of dumb. I was going to buy it for Jenny. I don't know what she would have done with it, mind you, but also I do have my mitten dexterity gloves. Okay, here's a good suggestion from CR. Exactly. Now, I don't have snow pants. That's not smart of me at all. But I haven't, my weight is making it hard for me to, I've been fat, really fat before. I am down to 278, but not quite down where I need to be. I used to be 317. So I am down quite a bit, but not where I need to be. Yep, long johns. You can get the military style ones, which is okay, I guess. Wool works best in my opinion, because even wet, wool will keep you warm. You know, this is wool right here, my hat. As you can see, I don't have a lot on top, so I got to keep it as warm as I possibly can. I do normally don't wear this one. I do wear my other one. Let's see. This is not it. The other one's somewhere else. This is one of my Carhartts, which works, but it's not the best. This one's the more modern version, which is a blend, I believe. Yeah, this one's acrylic. So I've got my original one, which is a lot older, and it works a lot better than that. But having wool blankets are really good. I have quite a few. I have at least 4, and I always will buy more once I find better ones. Yep, you have to be careful in the wet snow, because if your clothes get wet, your core gets wet. It's hard to get warm because especially if it's windy, because convection, conduction, and all that stuff can suck the heat right out of you. Okay. What do you consider buffs, CR? I've heard the term, but I want to know what exactly a buff is. Is it like this? I mean, you might call it a toque. Some people call them toboggan. Some people, I just call this one my watch cap, because that's what they call it in the military. Neck gaiters. Okay. I also call them balaclavas. I used to have a gaiter, but it was mostly to help produce heat, not so much keep myself warm. Um, I have used the full on head military ones that make you feel like a ninja, but they end up causing my glasses to fog up. Frostbite does hurt. I've had the tips of my ears frostbit because I wasn't wearing a hat like this. I was wearing a baseball cap like I normally wear. You know, usually the one that says Kincaid Outdoors, and that one I didn't realize that my ears were cold until they started warming up and first they started hurting, then they started bleeding because they cracked and bled. That is correct, CR. That is very true. But like I was mentioning earlier, when you have your boots, get good thermal boots. Do not try to wear steel toe boots in the wintertime because it'll help. That will basically make your boots into refrigerators, and they don't keep your feet warm at all. I've got some hiking boots which I wear, which do better because they are warm and they're a little bit insulated, but they're also very comfortable. Why did you do that? Why would you put your hands in negative 11 water for 3 minutes? And how could you do that without the water being frozen, unless you went through it, you're ice fishing or something? I've been on lakes and ponds that had ice fishing holes, and I understand how cold they can get. Now, Ian somehow has some diving gloves that he acquired that might work for keeping his hands warm. But if he starts sweating in them, there's a good chance he's going to get frostbite there. Okay. Are you going to try to tell me how tough you are, CR? I already know how tough you are. You don't have to impress me. Now, I have tried to start fires when my hands are cold. Your fingers feel like sausages and you can't feel your fingers. It is very hard and difficult to get a fire started. Now, would I use my flint and steel if I had to? Sure. But if I had choice, I'd still use my lighter, which is why I carry more than one of these with me at all times. I carry one of these. It is got a little zip tie on it right there, as you can see. See a little zip tie to keep it from being discharged. But this is a full, never used lighter. Now, could I do a spark with it? Probably. But I'm not going to because I got it locked in position where it won't be used. Yeah. Do not try to exaggerate how you feel. Do not overthink. Say, oh, I'm just a little cold. I'll be okay. I met too many guys who got chilblains and frostbite and all that stuff when I was in the service because they didn't pay attention to how they feel. Or they lost feeling in their feet because, oh, well, my feet don't hurt anymore, are not cold anymore. I don't have to worry about it. Then they got out of the cold, and then their feet started warming up. Not a good thing. Okay. Good to know. If you want to reference that video, CR, please put it in the chat for people can reference it, please. I'd really appreciate it. Yeah, it's really different to keep your core warm. I mean, there are other tricks you could use in an emergency situation. You could put leaves inside your clothing or crumpled up newspaper to provide the air pockets to help keep yourself insulated. Now, I've heard about people doing it in their boots and things like that as well, but I don't know from firsthand how well that works. Excuse me. Now, if you're in your car, you can use a small propane butane stove to try to heat up your area, a heat buddy, the propane heat buddy, the big Mr. Buddy heater. You can use emergency candles, but they're not as able to keep your car warm or your vehicle warm at that rate. But as long as if you seal off your windows with, say, the foil wrapped bubble wrap type stuff, it'll help insulate your windows to keep the heat in, and do whatever you can to keep your feet off the floor, because the bottom of your vehicle is not insulated. The roof of your car is not totally insulated. Make sure you carry decent blankets to cover enough for everybody who's going to be in your vehicle. Emergency food. If your power goes out, something quick and easy that you can heat up some ramen. You can heat up some stew, things like that. Something simple, something, Yeah, don't do, because you get moisture from your breath, and that could make yourself cold. If anybody as a kid remembers the tips of your gloves freezing and you end up chewing on them, I'm guilty of that as a kid. I had the old cotton gloves that we could only afford, the black ones, black work gloves. Yeah, I used to chew on my gloves as a kid. Don't ask me why. It's one of those things a kid does. But now I've got these and these. Yes, don't ask me why I still have them on. I just do. So actually, they're not cold per se. My ears are a little bit, but I don't know what the temperature set on over there. So you're the only one who can see it.
It's been kicking on, so
it's only 31 degrees, so it's not super cold, but it has gotten down to 0 here in the last month. Yep, cloaks over, using wool blankets, anything to insulate you from the ground would be great, like a Thermarest sleeping pad with an R value of 2 or higher. I have one sleep pad that actually has an R value of 4.5 to 5. But I would also compare that with a sleeping bag liner on top of that to help keep myself from sliding around, as well as my military sleep system, which is good to -30. Now, my boy actually has something that's comparable to that, but his is a cowboy bedroll, and it's like that freaking thick. But it also weighs about 40 pounds too. Now, I do have a cloak, but not a wool cloak. I need to get a new one. My wife has a really, really, really nice cloak, heavy duty.
it's my wizard cloak.
She calls it her wizard cloak or her sorcerer cloak, depending on what she's feeling like at the time.
Mm-hmm.
She's a gnome sorceress in my book. She's my gnome sorceress in my book. But we both know how to prepare for winter. We I actually plan our car survival kits more than she does because this is something I like doing, and she doesn't mind me. She lets me do it. She might complain about it, but my stuff is useful. Yep, I've seen those. I've seen people who actually use pieces of leather, either sewn or tucked into the backs of their pants, in order to have a sit pad to sit down on. I've never used one. I've only seen them. Dave Canterbury has one, and I've seen him use those multiple times. If you see anybody like in the old, like either um, bushcrafting or mountaineering or buckskinning books, which I have to have one like right here. I don't know if they have any winter ones listed in here or not. I'm gonna have to take a look. Let me see here. Well, here's some book pictures right here. We can have, with a hood like this one right here, or you can wear a fur cap, or as in this one over here, he's fairly got buckskins and a long coat and everything else. Now, hats like this were common in the old days as well, as you can see here, which is very similar to what I'm wearing. They called them knitted wool Voyager caps, which is very similar to what I've got on. Now, if anybody has watched any of the Dual Survival series, if anybody's seen the ones with Cody Lundeen and Dave Canterbury, you've seen where he wears a lot of shorts wherever he goes. I do not recommend that, but it is what it is for the show. Yeah, I know. A lot of people underdress when they travel, especially in the cold weather. If you do have a distance to drive, like we do coming up on the actual Christmas day, we're going to be traveling over to Red Oak, Iowa, which is a little over 3.5 hours from here. Now, we've never taken it in her car. It'll be a first. Are you driving down and I'm driving back?
Yep.
Okay. Because I drive better at night than she does. But make sure your car is kitted out with a proper set of gear for extra clothes, extra things to warm yourself out. If you have enough, have a bunch of these. Those are always good. This one here is good for how much is this one? Give me a second. I'm not sure what how the duration on this one is. It says up to 10 hours. That was up for 10 hours. I got 2 of these. I got more of these, but I also have some chemical ones, and I was considering picking up a electric one because I found it at Walmart that it also acts as a phone charger. That's true. If your car breaks down in winter along either a snow-covered route or you get stopped due to weather closing down a road for unknown reasons, or you decide to go off your beaten path and try to take a shortcut, and like that one family in, I believe it was Colorado, it was a father, and his wife and their kid, little baby, and they get stuck while trying to do a shortcut to get to their families They didn't let them know where they were going. They ended up in a place with no cell service, and they were stuck there for days until the father tried to walk out while the baby and the mother stayed behind trying to keep warm in some kind of shelter they built or something like that. I don't know the details, but they do know that the father ended up losing a couple extremities, little tips of their fingers or toes, probably toes. But they all survived, including the babies. The only one that didn't have any issues was the baby. Yeah. Yeah, Survival Man's two-part Norway video is a very good one about car survival, being stuck in a place where you're not supposed to be and you can't go any further. When you kit out your vehicle, it doesn't matter where it is, what it is you do, try to make sure that you have everything you need for the amount of people that you have. We have a family of 3. So you kit the place out for a family of 3. Now, Jenny might suggest we put in ramen or something in there.
Yeah.
Because it's cheap, it's easy to make, and all it takes is heated up water to cook it. Now, I might suggest putting in the butane stove in there because it can be used as both heat and cooking. And in a winter situation, depending on where you're at, obviously, with there's snow, you have access to water. So water would not be an issue because you're going to have to boil the water to heat it up anyway. Cocoa, coffee, hot cider or hot apple juice, even if that's your kick. Not alcohol eggnog, unfortunately. Even just regular, I wouldn't say canned soup. I mean, the Lipton powdered, the soup mix. It's pretty similar to ramen, but soup mix, a little broth mix, or bouillon cubes is a good choice as well. Something quick and easy to keep your core temperature up. But you got to also remember, when you're in a cold weather situation and you're getting ready to bed down for the night, go use the restroom. I don't care how cold it is outside. Use the restroom, use the facilities outside your vehicle before you go, or find a bottle, even if it's something like this, and pee in this if you can, unless you have a woman with you, and get the what do they call it, there's a
Travel John.
well, Jenny calls it a travel john. There's another name for it. For helping women go to the bathroom in a car and stuff. But here's the thing you could do with that. If you do pee in one of these, or a plastic bottle, whatever, do not throw it out. Do not dump it out if you don't have to. You could use it to warm your core, keep yourself warm. Also, if you do have to have a water filter with you and you have used it to purify water, do not let it sit where it can get cold. The newer ones, even the Sawyer Minis, Sawyer Squeezes, or anything like that, can freeze, and that makes them inoperable. You can do that, yes. You can, if you're able to, heat up water on your stove. If you have one of those, use your candles. If you have an emergency candles in there, the survival candles can last up to 16 to 20 hours, depending on use. I know people say, "Oh, you can make your own." Be careful with that, because if they have the pop, snip, whatever, you can cause even your car to get caught on fire. Survivor Man's Norway video parts 1 and 2 are both of those are really good videos for car winter survival. You might want to check it out if you haven't done so. They do have that one on Tubi TV. I believe that's episode. Give me a second here. I actually have that one going on right now because I have been watching that one. That one, I believe, let me look it up here, is, I will check, it's either season 2 or season 3. I can't remember. Season 3, episodes 9 and 10. Check out those. Check out that one right there. Those season 3, episodes 9 and 10 will give you a good idea about what you should do about keeping anything. One of the things that he regretted he didn't do, he didn't have proper winter boots in his. Wearing a scarf, Jenny makes scarves. I don't know if she can make one as tight as this one, this hat or not. Maybe. Having a toque, if you want to call it a toque, or shabagan, or whatever you decide to call it. This one here is called a watch cap because it's military. Having a balaclava, having a neck gaiter. You have one of those. The problem I have with a lot of those is because my breath causes my glasses to steam up, so I got to be careful with those. Oh man, please forgive me. I'm just getting a slight headache. Give me a second here. How are you doing, hon?
Okay.
Goggles, if you have to. I'm not sure. Do you have goggles that can go over your glasses, CR? Okay. I don't have ski goggles, but I do have these. Another things that you got to make sure for those people who do need them. You can wear sunglasses in the wintertime as well. Okay, cool. Things to keep you from getting snow blindness, which is a thing, which is basically the sun reflecting off the snow into your retinas, causing retinal burns, which can cause your eyes to swell shut. Not a good thing to happen. Other things you can have, which have a puffer jacket, but this is not something I would suggest you wear outside at all times, because even this could cause you to get overheated and cause you to sweat. If you sweat, you die. Don't do that. And as I was telling people earlier, having such thing as a simple bandana, which you can cover up your mouth and nose like that, you can help keep your face from getting frostbite. Also, which is kind of that's true. Goggles are easier to wipe than your glasses. Let's see, what was it? Oh, you can see it. Having a beard helps. I'm not sure how many of you are clean shaven. Nothing wrong with that, but that's the reason I grow mine in the wintertime, to help keep my face from getting cold. So I normally wear a goatee and everything, but right now I know it's kind of hard to see because it's all gray, but I wear a beard in the wintertime. Folks, I will be right back. I have to use the restroom. Please forgive me. CR, continue the conversation, if you would, please. Be right back. And we're back. CR waved at you, hon.
Oh,
He can hear you now.
hi, CR.
Jenny says hi. Ian contributed some items that good to winterize things. So here's one of the items. This is generally one size fits all for the military, because you can keep in your gear. And normally you would have a hat over this as well, but generally you can wear this like this. But
I would bring up the cold weather mask. I don't know where it's at though.
yeah, he has a cold weather mask that can go over this too. But I feel like a ninja. What do you think, hon?
Okay.
Do I look like a ninja?
You look like a ninja. Yes, you do.
What'd you say, hon?
Not really.
Not really. But you don't have to wear it like that. You can wear it like this if you have to. But generally, like this where you can breathe and you don't fog up your glasses. Well, that's just one item. Generally, when you wear that, you don't have long hair. Give me a moment here. Just to keep myself tangling my hair up. If you have more hair on top of your head than I do, then that would help too, but I don't, as you can see. Ian contributed some military cold weather pants. These are like long johns. And the top. When he first got this, it fit him just fine. Unfortunately, he's now a large, not a medium. Now, this one actually might fit you, love.
No,
You don't think it'll fit you?
I don't think it'll fit me.
I know it wouldn't fit me. I'm a 2X. So that one's out. But between these three items here, which you'd wear under your cold weather BDUs and with your wool socks and everything, would keep you generally warm while mixed in with. I don't think this is more of a wet weather gear, in my opinion. Such as your pants, which will go over your BDUs to help protect your legs. That's the pants, and or the jacket, which is a cold weather parka, which he has right here. So this right here is the military cold weather parka, which definitely would keep you warm as well. You have it where you can tie it at the waist and the good zippers and things like that. Ian was gifted all these from a military member. So, what the hell? What the hell? Okay. Ian? Oh, yeah. Dark glasses to, help make me feel like I'm blind. More like Green Arrow? Probably. An older one, anyway.
You like Ray Charles?
I did a little bit, yeah. I'm a little bit pale for that job, though. And very not as musically inclined as him either. Though he is one of my favorites. Not all of them, but between him and Little Richard and a few others are a lot better piano players than I am. I'm not sure if these are military issue or not. These are polarized sunglasses, by the way, which is really good for winter situations. I'm definitely not a blues brother either. Now, just these items right here, with minus the boots and the gloves. His gloves are buried somewhere out there too. Would keep someone generally warm. Now, not everybody has access to gear like this. Ian was just so freaking lucky because I'm good at talking to people. And I talked to this officer who was retiring, and he donated his gear to Ian directly. Now, when I was working at the DAV thrift shop, they did not like that at all. But it happens. Yep. If your core is warm, is the big thing. But like we have mentioned before, I mean, CR, Jenny, and myself, if you keep your core warm, keep your fingers moving. You can even use doing exercise throughout the day or the night. You can keep yourself generally warm. Myself, I generally sleep warm. But since I've been inactive due to not being able to walk very far, I can't exercise like I normally do. Jenny's the crocheter and knitter in the family. Ian and I are the ones who provide her with as much wool or yarn as we physically can. Right, love?
Yep.
Whenever we are out and about, one of the things we look for on the regular is wool for her. And we provided her with a lot of wool over the years. She has done hats. Her hat's out in the car right now, I believe. She made herself a hat, her cat ear hat, like she calls it. She has a Jane hat for anybody who is a Firefly fan that she has worn before, but she doesn't like tassels. She's not a betassel girl. But she could make one of her own if she chose to. What is it, like a Serpa hat or Gurkha hat or whatever they call it?
A Sherpa hat
Sherpa hat.
or Laplander hat.
It's a Laplander technically, right? You could make those.
Yeah, I probably could figure it out.
Exactly. No, but something to help keep your eyes from getting snow blindness, like these polarized lenses, is a good thing. These just happen to be in the thing, and I'm actually kind of surprised they fit over my glasses, because generally I can't see without those. These things feel, I mean, they're very comfortable glasses. I'm not sure if these came with the gear he got or not. Hey, bud.
You guys seem to wear sunglasses a lot.
Ian? Ian Charles,
Get up and go talk.
come here, please. I can have him pick up his gear while he's out here.
Yeah, what's up?
Come here, please.
Yeah.
One question: did these come with your gear, or do you find you get
Never
those?
mind. Just
Those are
come back.
separate. No, I just wondering.
They're part of my kit.
Okay. Now, I'm giving Ian his kit back where you can take it back with him. But these are your general base layers. Though this one here is a little small. We do have a ton of these in size medium. If you talk to Ian, he might sell them to you.
No.
You can't fit into mediums.
I still collect them.
Put them on. So let me see the medium on you.
It's still, I don't know, I tried.
Well, none of us in the house are a medium anymore. So
Also,
I like your parka.
trying to walk off my gloves, are you?
Oh, what is that?
My pilot gloves.
No, I don't have your pilot gloves.
No, you were sitting on them.
I didn't take your pilot gloves. I didn't know you had them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This is your under layers for the heavy duty thing. His pilot gloves. No, I didn't know you gave those to me. So this is the pilot gloves, which I would use as a base layer for your winter gloves. Also, because they give you some dexterity. I didn't know they were in my seat, but I'm sorry.
Yeah, they're probably.
But they do show off everything. These are your winter pants, right?
Yes.
Yeah, these are the
They
cold.
should be.
Yeah, these are the cold weather trousers.
If
Which
not,
you?
I'm tripping.
No, I didn't know. You don't.
Oh.
No,
Mask.
you're too. Okay, wait. Let me see if there's a name on that one, so I can tell people what it is. This one is called. This one doesn't have a name on it, unfortunately. It just says polypropylene, and it's 100% polypropylene, and it's one size. That does keep you warm, doesn't it, bud?
I haven't used it.
Two more things.
It's not mine.
That was in your pocket.
So that you can just toss.
That was also in your pocket.
That can be tossed.
What did you just knock over?
Mom's vase and it just broke.
Which vase?
Didn't need the needles.
You're not cleaned up, bud. Take your stuff in your room.
I can't. It's in the walkway.
Oh, you don't have your boots on, do you?
No.
Hey, Ragnar, how you doing? Thank you for coming. We just had slight accident in the background. And now, a question for you about winter survival, winter preparedness for your car and or home or both. Wearing proper wool clothing. We just had a whole thing on military weather gear that my boy has access to, which is really funny. He's never been in the military. My wife and I have been, but not him.
Where's the broom? I mean,
The broom's right there beside you.
not the broom, the pan.
Dustpan's probably right over here. It's probably over there in the corner. Mom had it last, so I'm assuming that's where it was. Where's the dustpan, huh? You had it last. I don't know.
I know. That over in the corner.
No.
Check on here on the coffee table.
Pick up here. We have another one downstairs in the basement, but I don't know where the other ones are, bud. I'm sorry, I don't. Like I said, Mom had it last. I don't know what she did with it.
That's okay. I'll improvise. Like I said, I'll improvise.
Oh, way to go.
You know,
Nothing wrong with cowboy hats, but be careful. They can get yours can get cold wearing hats like that. I used to wear a baseball cap a lot, or my military cap, without having the wool, and it's not any kind of fun because frostbite sucks. I will be right back. I have to deal with a little issue. CR, you have the con, so to speak.
I weighed like 34 pounds.
Well, that's all you can really say, Ragnar. And I'm back, as you know. We're still in the middle of mid-crisis.
Where's the Swiffer?
It's in here in the kitchen. We moved it back in the kitchen. Ian, can you hand me the Swiffer so I can hand it to Mom?
Yeah.
Love, can I hand you this real quick? There you go. Yep. Tube scarves are good. I've seen some that are both used as hats, as neck gaiters, as balaclavas. They could be a little bit of everything. Yes, you can see I can found my good Carhartt hat, which is this one's a lot better condition than the other one that I have, even though the tag is probably gone. This is probably 100% wool compared with the other one is not. You can feel the difference in the quality, and this one also has the good actual patch, not a just this one's sewn patch compared to the other one. I have both a military -30 sleep system as well as 30-degree, 0-degree or more civilian bags, which I plan on keeping in our vehicle at all times. But my military one going to go as I need it. Excuse me. The crisis is when Ian was taking out his. There's a couple more, but Max supervising. I see.
Yep.
There's one way underneath the bottom shelf. Surprisingly, it's the matching to the one you had.
You want to show off the head of Vader?
Yeah. Well, the vase that we were using for Jenny's crochet needles. So we've had to find a new place to put him. So Vader is now got his mind blown.
It's Pinhead.
So you can use that over there. It's a lot safer than the.
It's Pinhead Vader.
Excuse me. Any idea what brand it is, Ragnar? Because I mean, I've got various kinds. Synthetic are common nowadays. Like I said, I've got several different brands. Some are cheap brands, some are more expensive. We even have one here. Give me a second here. This is a Prima Loft. Woods, Canada sleeping bag. Now, if I picked this up, I can't even remember where I picked this up. I think I got this one at Goodwill, but this is from Canada. A good sleeping bag liner will help insulate, do a better R value than some, but I'm not sure exactly how long. It just depends on if there's any damp conditions or not. Love, do you need the
Yes.
dustpan?
You're not supposed to give it to me. You didn't.
Ian?
Honey, just hand it to me.
I don't know where you did with it.
Probably in the corner where you left it.
I don't even see it. Oh, there it is. I would definitely sweep over this whole hallway before we go down it, hon. Just in case you missed some slivers.
Obviously.
Here. Yeah, Alpine's a good brand. I'm not sure what else. I mean, I've got plenty of Thermarest sleeping pads. both the military and the civilian versions. My best one is a. Give me a second here. Got to check something real quick. Oh, it's in my backpack. I have to double in and go check it out because I'm not going to dig it out right now. You want to be careful, hon, please. My backpack's over there and my gear's in there, but I have it it's like a 4.5 R value sleeping pad, which should help alleviate a lot of heat loss through the ground. Now, is that going to be 100% effective? Probably not, but I do my best. That is true. And also wear it where you know where you're not overheating. Because if you're doing any kind of meaningful work, make sure you do not sweat. If you feel like you're getting warm enough to start sweating, remove a layer. Open up your zippers, let your core breathe. Let out the excess heat until you start to feel a little chill. Then you can start put it back on. And that way, if your core gets wet, your core layers get wet, then you're going to freeze. I asked him to do that. He didn't do that. He took it out and didn't replace it. Now, my workplace has sleeping hats that they like us to wear. But this one here is just a simple acrylic hat. Yes, it's blue. I'm not a big fan. That's why I wear this one. It's warmer. But I have some Colan gear. Actually, one of the things I do wear is my jacket here. It's not exactly a winter overcoat like my son has for the military, but I wear this one as my outer layer. Is a Colan, as you can see. Now, this one here, I'm not sure if it says what it's supposed to be, but I wear this. This is the it's got the built-in hood. This one here I use to keep my base layer warm and dry. I got plenty of pockets no matter where I go. Places to hang my gloves when I clip them on there if I do decide to do that. But make sure you keep your base layers, which we did show off a little while ago, available on your body, or at least in your car, because you can change into them. You okay, hon?
Yeah, I got a little bathroom.
Okay. Right. My boy has the more modern version of the winter gear, which I just showed off, Ragnar. I'm sorry if you missed it. He's got the balaclava. He's got the jacket, the winter pants. The only thing he doesn't have, I think he might even have the socks. And he's wearing regular boots. He does not have the winter boots. Hey, bud. No, just a question. Do you have the Mickey Mouse boots?
What?
Do you have the Mickey Mouse boots by any chance?
What?
The Mickey Mouse boots, I call them.
Huh?
The heavy-duty winter boots.
I don't.
Okay, I thought you did.
No, I never got those.
Oh,
Donated those.
Oh, he donated those.
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
You put them in for sale in the thrift store.
Oh, okay.
Because you said I couldn't fit into them.
Okay, good to know, Ragnar. My boy's got the better selection of winter gear than I do.
I would have had a full set, but
Actually, Ian, grab that. for me.
Which one?
Green shirt on the right-hand side.
This is wool.
It is wool. That's military.
Where? That's
It is. Not U.S. military.
Swedish.
No.
Where'd you get it?
Mom got it. This is Mom's.
Oh.
My wife picked this up a while back. This is a wool overshirt. And it actually has a liner for you can plug.
And a patch.
You can hook up for a hood. And it's got a built-in shoulder arms pockets. And there is a patch involved.
Right here. It's for a shotgun.
Yeah.
Or a rifle, either one. I don't know.
I'm not familiar with the patches, but I'll have to do some searching on that one. Let me see what that one is right now. Give me a second. I'm going to do a quick picture check on that patch. Yeah, this is vintage German. Yeah, this is a vintage German summer issue uniform. I don't know what year it is or anything like that, but it's German. I can understand that, CR, because I mean, when I was stationed out in Monterey, California, one year we actually had a sleet storm. I know it's not much hearing about it in Monterey, California and all, because it's on the coast. We had a sleet storm with sleet this deep. Now, to most people who live in the Midwest or even further north, northern states or Canada, understand this much is not that much, doesn't bother you that much. Myself, I grew up in Iowa. That's like nothing. But to most California kids, they had no freaking clue how to deal with it. And though we did have one person who was from Colorado ski the parking lot with snow skis. Now, one item I'm going to add to my truck, which most people wouldn't consider. Give me a moment here. I have to reach up and grab them. Is one of the items I picked up a while back, which actually I got two items here I could recommend. And I'm recommending my Atlas snowshoes. This is the Helium series. I paid $9 for these. These are brand new. Initially, they were $150, but I paid $9 for them at a thrift store. And they have the really good metal bits for traction. And their weight, this one here is the weighted for my weight. And they can fit most shoes or boots, preferably the boots. These are the Atlas Helium 1230s. So at my previous heaviest weight, these would be perfect for it, but I'm a lot lighter now. So I'm going to keep those in my vehicle as good backup supply ways. If I need to walk out somewhere, I'll have that. Though at the moment, with my knee issue, the way I have, because I need to get my knee replaced in February, it's going to be a little more difficult. Doable, because also another thing I keep in there is my hiking poles. A good setting hiking poles in the wintertime can be a major blessing, because my poles both have the snow setups as well as the mud, as well as rock and things like that. Now, I do have regular snow poles, but I like my other ones better because they're suited for me. Exactly. Like a lot of people down in Western North Carolina, CR, there's a lot of people out there who don't have what they need. I used to wear one of those when I was in the Air Force. I was stationed over in Germany. It was West Germany back then, but still Germany. We had one that had the fur, and you come up here, you kind of look like Kenny from South Park. All you can see is a little bit of hole out that about that much. You can make a buff from a shirt. From a wool sweater or sweatshirt works better. Or even from a pair of old sweatpants. No, it's actually the opposite, Ragnar. If you have like a rayon or nylon hat, like this here is wool. This one here is wool, but my other one. Maybe give me a second here. I can't remember where I put it. These are wool. Give me a second here, folks. Sorry. I'm trying to figure out what I did with them. I just had them. Oh, here it is. Now, this one here is not. This one here is acrylic. Acrylic does not keep you warm as wool does. Wool will keep you warm even when it's wet. Exactly, CR. Exactly what I was talking about. Now, wool socks, wool clothing in general. I mean, this is wool. I can't find the exact tag for that. But I'll have to talk to my wife about the patch. But the thing is, wool will keep you warmer. Yep. Even if you wear a, what do they use? They call it the vest with a sleeveless vest. You can wear those with like a down. Like my puffer jacket is down. My puffer jacket right here is down. As you can see, it's right here. 650 fill down, goose feather. This will keep me warm. Now, would I wear that? I wouldn't wear this one and get wet, because once this gets wet, I will avoid this like the plague, because this thing, once it's wet, it is pretty much useless. But this will keep me warmer than any other synthetic out there, because goose down is really, really warm. Now, I also have a quilt that is same material, but it's got some holes in it due to my cats deciding to use it as a scratching post. So this right here will keep me, is a good layer that I would wear. I wouldn't wear this when I'm working, I'd wear this when I get to someplace where I'm stationary. Because it does not have a hood. That's one of the main reasons, which is why I generally pair this up with this hood. Now, this one here is nothing fancy. It's just a simple Russell one. I'm not even sure what it's made out of, but let me see if I see a tag here, which is completely ate up and wore out. This is probably acrylic, but this, well, good. It's got a hood. This is warmer. This is also really freaking light. Finding stuff in my size was always hard, so I got lucky with this one. Now, if I was trying to keep myself warm, I would wear this for the long as I could, because just wearing this just a little bit of time, I'm almost sweating. Now, Ragnar, do you have any hand warmers? I mean, give me a second. Such as hot hands. Do you have a Johnny hand warmer or anything like that? I have one somewhere. I don't remember where I put it. I had it in my pocket the other day. I'm trying to remember where I placed it. I had it in my coat pocket. I'm not sure where it ended up. But I generally carry one with me wherever I go. For something to help keep yourself warm on a cold day is one thing I'm going to suggest, and that is this is a simple chili recipe if anybody's interested in it, that came in DC Comics. Initially mentioned in 1971. It's Green Arrow's stupendous chili recipe, just like Mom used to make. Considered the hottest chili in the DC universe. Nowadays, not so much. What's your favorite passive shelter option, CR? Besides, you can't, because cars are not technically an option. Well, I mean, they do have let me call it, a poncho that turns into a tent. Now, I do have a military poncho over here that I carry with me generally, which can be turned into a tent in a pinch, in conjunction with some hiking poles. Now, I generally carry more than that. I also have several tarp, ridgeline tarp options, which I use in conjunction with other tents that I own to help provide heat and shelter that way, from my French Army Commando tent to my sorry, brain freeze, brain fart, whatever you want to call it. Give me a second here. My Light Fighter 1 shelter system, which with the proper setup with it, with the liner, can include a winter kit to keep your tent warmer. I don't have that shell. That's another $165 I don't have at the moment. But yeah. Yes, Dan, bacon is cool. If you want to come up, guys, the link is at the top of the chat. And Dan, if you would come up here, you've got some options on this that I'd love to use I could use your advice on. My normal co-hosts aren't here at the moment, but I welcome anybody pretty much right now. Yeah, wool is always a good choice. A good wool hoodie nowadays, the ones that are made from recycled material, generally is a really good choice if you got it, can find it. I don't have a lot of wool base layers because generally they don't make them. It's hard to find them in my size. I used to be really extremely heavy, folks, and as of right now, I have lost. Give me a second here. About 39 pounds so far. I used to weigh 317. Now I'm 278. I can't make them. I am not that handy. Jenny has the base skills, but not the overall. Right now, the best thing she's done was hats. Not this hat, mind you, because it's a Carhartt, or my other military one, which was a gift from Ian. He didn't like it because it was too tight for him. But generally, I'm gonna see if I can find some winter light jackets and stuff. Let's see here. I'm looking under clothing. Now I've got my wool watch cap, and they do have U.S. made one whole face mask, which I just showed off, which is like a polar fleece option. That I do have some options for neck gaiters. If anybody's interested, I got a link for those over on the Army Navy Outdoors. They do have several options on that one. I do have my mittens, which I like generally, so I don't usually worry about my fingers. Now, my toes and my feet, I have gotten cold before because I didn't have the proper gear. I generally nowadays wear hiking boots, insulated hiking boots. That's in my size, which is really hard to come by. But my favorite boots that I used to have was the winter military boots that I got when I was in the service. When the normal combat boots failed and my toes stuck out the side. And the colonel asked me, "Son, why is your toe sticking out the side of your boot?" I said, "Because my boots are too narrow. They don't fit. And I couldn't fix them. I couldn't hide them. I couldn't do anything except wear them." And by the end of the day, I had new boots, which happened to be winter Gore-Tex lined winter boots, which is the first time in my military career that I've gotten footwear that fit. I didn't care if they were winter or not in the middle of summer. They didn't hurt my feet. But keeping circulation in your extremities is a must. I have dealt with myself and others who ignored the signs of early chilblains or frostbite. Your teeth chattering, you can't stop it. You're shivering. And the moment you stop shivering means that you are borderline hypothermic or hypothermic, and you need to get your core temperature up fast, whether it's sipping a cup of tea, hot water even. anything to get your core temperature up, because it doesn't take much to get hypothermia. It's just a couple degrees of your core temperature, which means even in the summertime, no matter where you're at, whether you're in the high desert or in the middle of the icy tundra, you drop a couple degrees of your core temperature, you go into hypothermia. Oh, I'm sure you can, CR, but I am not inclined that way. I don't have the manual dexterity. Jenny can do it, but she just hasn't had the inclination. That's one of her mantras. If I can't find it and she can't make it, then we don't need it. We don't have a sewing machine. We actually did have one, but our basement flooded earlier this year due to a major rainstorm, and our sewer backed up into our basement and took out our sewing machine. Now, with my skills with being able to find pretty much anything I need, and my boy's a close second, and somehow, some way that the middle of Iowa is prevalent to a lot of thrift stores, secondhand stores, and the like, while not even being around a military surplus store, which is because ours shut down. And being former military myself, both Air Force and Army, still, I don't have access to a regular thrift shop that actually has nothing but military gear. But I find enough odds and ends here and there to get Ian a full kit, winter kit, minus the winter sleeping bag, which he still wants to steal from me, which he's not doing because I built this one myself. Because I got my base intermediate suite, cold weather bag and everything for $9. And I had to buy the patrol bag, but that was the only thing I had to do. And I found it in the weirdest spot of all places, folks. I found it on Walmart at surplus. Now, I did not know that Walmart sold surplus of anything military, but apparently they do. Now, if you check out ArmyNavyOutdoors.com, they have a wide variety of winter gear that you can acquire there on the cheap. I am not sponsored by them, but I have bought several items from there. Let me give you the link here. That way you guys can go check it out. Okay, CR, I understand. I am going to be ending. See, I've been going here for a little over 2 hours. I'm probably going to be ending at the bottom of the hour anyway, myself, because I'm limited on time because I'm using the free StreamYard right now because I can't afford to pay for the new pricing at $44 a month, what used to be $20 a month. But if you check out Army Navy Outdoors, they have MREs, they have both civilian and other kinds. They have military gear of various kinds. and tents of various kinds that you might consider. They do have patrol bags for cold weather patrol bags under their outdoor section. Because they have a modular sleep system, but they do get a little pricey on the newer versions and really cheap on the old school versions. Because they do have the military issue Woodland 3-layer ECWCS sleeping bag systems, which is similar to what I've got. And they can be expensive up to $500, or you can get lucky like I did and find ones for $9 for the same thing. And mine's rated for -30, which is really nice. And everything else. So, but at the bottom of the hour, 9:30, I will be ending here soon because I'm kind of exhausted right now, and I need to talk to my family a little bit too before they go to bed. Now, if anybody's looking for anything secondhand, used, whatever, let me know. If I can find it for you, I will. You just got to give me what your budget is and go from there. And if I can find it where you could just give you the link and you pay for it yourself and have it shipped to you yourself without going through me, I would rather appreciate it doing it that way. But I would like to at least be acknowledged as a fighter something. Now, CR, have you seen that website before? Dan, I know you're here. Have you seen it? Now they're having a holiday sale on the military issue fog base layer size 3X. I'm not a 3X, so I don't have to worry about it. But they do have other base layer stuff. They have a let's see what else. A 9mm cleaning kit. They have entire 24 pack of MRE entrees for $40. Sweet Fire strikeable fire starters, hot weather combat boots, 3 different types of axes, which actually that must be new because I didn't see those before. So I'm looking at some of the new stuff, so I'm not sure. They have Mickey Mouse boots there if you're interested. Extreme cold weather N1B Mutlux boots. And some used white Mickey Mouse boots. They even have snowshoes. I didn't know they had those. Those are new. These are used, but they are snowshoes. U.S. Marine Corps. Hey, Weldon Carey, how you doing? I will be out of here in about 9 more minutes, folks. I am limited on my ability to stay later anymore right now because I can't afford to get more time, limited to 23 hours a month due to cost. Because I'm sorry, I wish while my channel is monetized, I don't get enough channel support in order to, other than ad revenue, to keep this all going. I will be right back. Please forgive me. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. What do you mean by that there, CR? Well, thank you. I'm out of here in 5 minutes, so I'm going to call it a little early because I've got to get some stuff cleaned up in here from all this, stuff. I didn't even go through a quarter of what someone would normally carry or keep in their vehicles or on their person or in their vehicles for their person and other family members. Like wool blankets, I didn't cover those. I didn't cover winter survival kits in there, general like emergency candles or the Yuko survival candles, which are really, really good. They can provide heat and plus light, and their tea lights or the emergency 10-hour candles and those things like that. That's a whole nother deal. The cutting tools would be good, such as a snow shovel. Ian and I found actually a really nice collapsible snow shovel for $20, or is it $30 at Walmart? And it's aluminum shovel that's collapsible, which is really collapsible and foldable. So that, which is really, really nice. Having kitty litter in your vehicles, having decent snow tires, having extra water in your vehicles. I know it freezes, so you got to be careful what you carry. A pot to a mess kit to put stuff in, to boil water, to anything, sterilize water, anything like that. Exactly. But I'm going to be ending this here now. Thank you all for coming. I really appreciate it. For those who stayed the entire time, if you have any questions, please leave a question down. After this live, I can try to answer them the best I can. If you have any questions about any of the items I've shown you, I'll try to get you the information about those particular items as I can. Thermos is a good idea as well. I don't have a thermos near here, but I do have several things you could use. I mean, you can use, wait a second, military issue canteens and their canteen covers. Those are insulated to a point. Just got to be careful with what you got, or making sure you have in your kit something to cook your food in. This has got a pot, a pan, and another bowl in here, and the things to hold on to it as well. But that's all I got for you for now. Thank you all for coming. I really appreciate it. Be well, be safe. Have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. If I don't catch you next week. Love you guys all. I'm out of here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.